Let's call roll call first. Sound good?
All right. Trustee Bowles.
Here.
Trustee Hacker.
Here.
Trustee Lucas.
Here.
Trustee Alekna.
Here.
Supervisor Craig.
Here. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you. Review and approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting held on November 14th, 2022. Motion? I'll make a motion to approve. Thank you, trustee Lucas. Any second?
I'll second.
Thank you, trustee Lechner. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call roll.
Trustee Alekna.
Aye.
Trustee Lucas.
Aye.
Trustee Hacker.
Aye.
Trustee Bowles.
Aye.
Supervisor Craig.
Aye, motion passes. Public comments. Anyone wish to say any public comment?
Anyone want to go first? Okay, I can attempt to be as brief as possible.
If you'd like to state your name, please.
Yes, my name is Jackson Power, community lawyer with the Citizen Advocacy Center. So, a legal nonprofit based in Elmhurst, serving DuPage and as well as the broader Chicagoland area. For nearly 30 years, CAC's mission has been to build democracy by strengthening the citizenry's capacities, resources, and institutions for self-governance. In pursuit of our mission, CAC's work includes focusing generally on local government issues and local civic advocacy. On behalf of CAC, I wrote a letter to Supervisor Prater, CC, and the rest of the trustees on November 7th regarding concerns related to comments in the From the Desk section of the autumn 2022 Township newsletter, a citizen-initiated referendum that was on the ballot for that election, the 708 board. And I'm here to hopefully very briefly address those issues again. In part, the From the Desk section included the money for the 708 board will be wasted. Once this line is added to your property tax bill, it will never come off. If you want increased taxes for duplicated services, vote yes. If you do not want increased taxes for duplicated services, vote no. This section, published by the township with public funds, is at a minimum a violation of the spirit of the prohibited political activity section of the township code, and at worst, potentially an actual violation due to language opining about what passage of the 708 board measure would mean. Public officials are prohibited by both state and local law from using public funds to advocate either for or against ballot referenda. And this past summer, hundreds of residents of Winfield Township came together to circulate and sign petitions so that on election day in November, they could vote on the question of whether to establish a local mental health board in Winfield Township. The citizens coming together and using the referendum process to give voters an opportunity to express their opinion one way or the other is part of how democracy continues to thrive. But the playing field has to be level. Winfield Township residents came together to put the question on the ballot, but that is only step one. And deciding how to vote is the next step. And here, the government, by the plain and ordinary meaning of both state and local law, is required to be neutral. CAC's concerns are four. It is not speaking in a neutral manner to state that the taxes raised will be wasted. It is not speaking in a neutral manner to state that a vote in favor of the referendum will result in new taxes that will never come off the tax bill. Framing the full statement as a choice for voters, as was done at the end of the article, does not circumvent or negate the advocacy against the referendum. And lastly, the official township newsletter required to compensate the time and resources of the township to create and distribute. The results of the referendum, 7,107 Winfield Township residents voted in favor of creating the mental health board. 7,317 residents voted against it. The referendum was defeated by only 210 votes, and with a margin this close, it is reasonable to ask if the township newsletter made an impact. Citizen Advocacy Center is devoted to protecting democracy, encouraging good and responsive government, and fostering open debate. The Ethics Act and the state and local law are on this subject were put in place to ensure protect democracy, accountable government, and to create a level playing field to foster open debate. Now, I do want to make sure I add that in response to our communication, we did receive email correspondence from the township's council asking to discuss the letter. And I think this is a great educational opportunity for everyone involved, and I do look forward to a continued fruitful discussion on the issue. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Thank you. Hearing none, review and approval of board auditor report for $661,259.47 from November 11th, 2022 through December 9th, 2022. I'll make the motion. Second?
I'll second
Seconded by trustee Bowles. Discussion.
it. Yeah, real quick, kind of, because the last 2 months,
on
It's
this,
the board audit
or
report,
the
right?
board audit report, yeah,
Mhm.
under the town fund. Does it end on page 4 or are there more
Page
pages?
3, it ends on page 4.
It does, okay, so these are all up to date, or no? There's
Correct.
pages and all, okay.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, please call roll.
Trustee Paulsen.
Aye.
Trustee Hacker.
Aye.
Trustee Lucas.
Aye.
Trustee Lightnin.
Aye.
Supervisor Prater.
Aye, motion passes. Monthly financial investment reports information only. Review and approval of ordinance 2022-07 tax levy ordinance for the township. I'd like to put forth a motion to do a tax levy ordinance, ordinance 2022-07, to increase the levy to $1,208,338, to cover, the assessor, so we can actually hire an additional person to his roles.
Am I missing it?
Oh, we didn't get it from,
We got it.
we didn't get last month's,
Oh, last one.
Yeah, you got it last month.
in the last saving paperwork. Okay, okay. Do you want to see?
No.
No, I'm sure. It was either a flat or an increase, that's what we discussed from last month.
You're increasing by discussion 4.4.
4.89.
Okay,
So
so
it
how
would
much
be
more money
the-
is that generating?
The previous levy was $1,152,000 even. That was last year. This levy would be $1,208,338.
208 or 280?
208.
Do we have a second for this motion? before
Not yet,
we
that's,
begin
I'm just,
discussion?
okay.
sorry. So, motion by myself, is there a second?
One second.
Seconded by trustee Bowles. Any discussion then?
So what's the difference?
I'm gonna use a calculator, just so you guys,
$56,000.
yes, correct, but
156?
No, 56,000 increase.
I'm doing it right now. Just to give you exactly, sorry. $56,338.
That's a 5% increase on a million?
4.89% increase.
Don't have my calculator.
50,000 would be 5% on that.
What do you anticipate it would cost to hire somebody?
More than that, but, it all depends, because I'm looking at an entry level, so it would be, but insurance, there's, all that stuff, so.
Okay, so my question is all of the money that you're asking to be raised is only gonna go to hire someone? That's not gonna go anywhere else? Well, I have a lot of concerns, okay? Earlier this year, we just seem to have budget problems, okay? The newsletter that you use taxpayers' money to go out, and you told people, you encourage people not to vote for the 708 bill. Had they voted for the 708 bill, we would have had more than $56,000. We would have had 50 that goes to Ways. We would have had 8 that goes to War.
Point of order, that has nothing, the point of order, we're talking about our levy.
Right.
Okay? They're talking about a levy to increase it so that the assessor can continue to do his job with it.
I understand.
So that's what we're
I'm trying to show you
asking
some of
for.
the budget questions I have. And then the 8,000 for the homeless vet, so that would have been like 63,000 there. Also, when you put in for the bus, for the LARPA funds, you didn't even put in for the full amount, where you could put in for like,
I put in for the amount that I asked for $100,000 and I got rejected for that. And then I asked the county, I said, I really need to have this amount, and then they gave it to me again.
but it still wasn't enough. That's what I'm saying, that you seem to have some budget issues. You
How
could
do I
have
have
asked for,
budget issues if I'm asking for a grant, and they denied me the grant and they still give it to me then after that?
everybody got what they wanted.
That's not
Everybody
true.
got with it.
That is not true.
Well,
That's not
either
true.
way,
Viola only got 38,000, they asked for over $1 million.
Well, okay, maybe they're building, I don't know what, is it a final answer on their building? I don't know if it is or not.
I don't know, but you keep comparing us to another township. I find
Okay,
it
I'm
very
not going to compare,
difficult.
I'm talking, well, I'm
I'm
talking about
asking-
our,
I'm asking what you want to know, what else on the levy, because right now, at this moment, our assessor is asking to hire another person, because right now, all of his people are older. He needs to get newer, younger people in there so he can continue the
I
legacy that he
understand
has. Apparently you don't.
no, I do, I'm trying to bring up our budget, like that would have been $63,000.
You're talking about budget, I'm talking about the levy, so I can
We would
complete the
have
budget.
extra money in the budget though. That would have been an extra 63,000.
Have you been paying attention to our budget? Have you been paying attention to our budget at all?
Yes, I have.
Have you?
Yes, I have. Have you, is the question.
Absolutely, I
Have you?
I'm working with almost a quarter of our budget, and I'm still in where I need to be. I'm
Okay.
making money and putting some to the side.
So
You
why
pay
are you
attention.
raising the levy?
I think it is explained. I'm sorry if it hasn't been explained or we don't understand this. Does anyone else have any questions?
I can kind of maybe throw a little,
Please, Trustee Wells.
all right. It's not uncommon to ask for a large amount of, okay? If you ask for this amount, we may get 3%,
We make it 2%
you
or
know,
less.
so. I was always, I don't know how you could say taught, not really taught, but the old city treasurer in the town here kind of explained stuff to me that if you go high, you're probably gonna get low. Okay, with Mark, if he needs to hire somebody, can this other person be used besides in your office? Can he drive a bus?
No.
Okay, so I was kind of curious on that, you know, if you'd be used.
No, if I hire somebody, it'll be
Okay.
strictly for assessment.
Okay, so that's really, and then,
Okay, but
because,
let's,
no, let me just,
Okay.
look,
Yeah,
continue,
yeah.
because the same thing happened, there was another trustee that sat on this board for years too. And he always got the levy mixed up with the budget.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have to have the dollars coming in to work your budget. And
exactly,
where do you get
I
that? From your
understand that,
levy. Okay,
right,
from the levy, okay, so if you raise this to do everything here.
right.
Is it high? Yeah. Can it be lower? I don't know, can it? I mean, I guess my question is,
It
when
could
is
be,
money-
but what
when-
does mean? The question is that if the assessor cannot do his job, can he sue the township? Yes, he can. Then we're paying for his legal fees and our legal fees. Because we're not giving him the,
Okay, let me go back a little bit bigger money. So in 2 years ago, the excess funds, there was $500,000, $500,000 excess that was transferred to the road district. Earlier this year, you voted we had another excess $500,000. You voted to give that back to
we never gave any money back.
taxpayers back.
We never
As a
gave any
rebate.
money back.
They got a credit. That's the same thing.
The money never was given to us. That's what happened. First off, the money that was given to the road district, that was done at an annual town meeting, and everybody, all of the electorals, am I saying that correct? Electorals were allowed to vote at that meeting
I'm not
to give the money
Right,
to
I'm
the
not
road
saying it's
district.
right or wrong.
So
I'm
the
just
fact
saying-
that you are blaming the voters, that they voted to give the $500,000 to the road district, I find that extremely offensive, trustee.
Well, then you're
Trustee
not
Lucas,
listening
that's
to
not
me.
okay.
You are not listening
It's
to me.
not okay to
My
blame
point-
the voters for something that they voted to do at an annual town meeting.
No.
To give money to our roads that needed to get done.
Well,
It's
that's
not
not what
okay.
I'm doing. Let me explain it in a different way so you'll understand it.
Please.
Okay, there was an excess of $500,000, of $500,000, $500,000 the 1 year, which went to the road district. The next year, an excess of $500,000 that went back as a rebate on taxes. So my point is why are we going from an excess of $500,000 to $500,000 to all of a sudden raising taxes by almost 5%?
Let me interject here for a second.
Yeah.
Just these things were done in a different economy. These things were done in a different timeline with a completely different board. The past is the past. We can sit here and rehash all that all we want. The fact is, you have an assessor that needs to hire an employee to further along the better of the township from the assessor's point of view. You also are dealing with inflation at rates of 8 to 9%, which everyone is feeling. The taxpayers are feeling it, we are feeling it as well as a governmental organization. I
That's
think
why
that
I'm
needs to be
concerned.
looked at as a whole. When those decisions were made in the past, we weren't facing 8% inflation. We had 2% inflation, the best economy in the history of the United States of America. We have a different story here.
Okay, my point is not, it's a different board, not the voters decided to do it. My point is, okay, you went for an excess 500,000, you went to an excess another 500,000. Why don't you have this other excess 500,000? What are you doing with the other 500,000 from, that's gonna be excess this year?
What $500,000 are we talking about?
Well, that's what I'm saying, is how can you go from
You're looking at
500,000
the
to
budget,
500,000?
you're looking at our budget that you pay the bills off every.
These are the things I'm just, I don't want to put any money in your hands, because when I've seen you handle money, you've mismanaged it grossly,
What money have I mismanaged?
okay?
I want to know what money I
I will
mismanaged.
tell you, going back to the CARE Act funds, and you were standing up at the hall meeting hollering at the county board rep when you were asked by somebody, why didn't you spend all the money? And you just were hollering at the person, you didn't help me. I brought this up at a meeting about the bus, why didn't you put in more? What was your answer to me? You didn't help me.
I said that you didn't help me.
Yes.
Excuse me,
So
point of order.
that's what I'm saying. So those are two things of mismanagement. Another mismanagement is now we just
Because I
lost
was appointed on December 4th, correct? CARES Act fund,
$63,000.
CARES Act fund ended December 31st. I was appointed on December 4th.
Oh, you've been acting
Correct.
since October and you were
No,
appointed,
no,
yes.
that's not
That
correct.
is true.
No, it's not correct.
Oh, well, we
but
can go back
anyways,
in a minute.
anyways.
You were voted
Okay.
acting in October.
No, I was not.
Yes, you.
You can go back and look at the files, but that's fine. Anyways, we're at, anyone more questions on the list?
I just got one.
No, and that's.
Point of order,
there's
any
a-
more questions on the levy? And
Okay,
trustee
but you
Bowles
are
asked a question.
mismanaging more money than that.
Trustee Bowles, go ahead.
The question is, that statement was made, can you sue the township?
It's been done.
No, I just wanna know, is it?
Can you do it, assessor?
Assessors have sued the township for not, the township is required to provide the assessor with the funds to do their job. You know, that's what the statute says. Could I say something?
Yes.
Okay. This is the levy that we're going for here, that it's not our budget, it's not, townships aren't, taxing bodies are under a tax cap, townships are under, this township is under a hard tax cap. Other taxing bodies get around it, safety stuff and that. We're under a cap of consumer price index plus new construction for tax, for a hard cap. The consumer price index, if it's over 5, if it's at 8, we only get, you could only levy for 5, plus new construction. Last year, we took a 0, but we had the second most new construction we've had ever. We didn't capture any of that new construction. This year, we have more we have the highest new construction, 2.5% is new construction this year. A big part of it is the business center out here, those massive buildings that are going up. So when you're under a hard tax cap, we were getting, for years, 1.5%, 2%. 3 was the highest, you know? So now inflation, so we can go, so technically we could, and Donnie said we won't get it, we'll get, because it's gonna be this, CPI is gonna be over 5. So we could get 5 for that and 2.5. So technically we could levy for 7.5% and get most of that. I mean, there's stuff that comes out like TIF dollars, stuff like that, but we wouldn't get. But what I'm saying is, when you're looking at levy, when you're under a tax cap, and my budget's been cut tremendously over the last 6 years by a quarter. When that was done, I had an extra employee. She retired, but I could never. It was when she retired, and then it went all down, and then I could never got back. I think we do a great job. The people I have are very experienced, but we're not going to be here forever. We need some. We you can always do more as an assessor. There's not, I mean, you could have 100 people and you could still, you just do more neighbor, you know, you would get, not that you would, but, so I have 3 employees. When I started here, there was an assessor plus 7 employees. I pride myself on being a hands-on assessor. I actually, and like John, and like we, and Nicole, our elected officials are actually hands-on doing the work, not hiring it out, which in some taxing bodies, that's how it works. What I'm saying is new construction is something that comes not often that high. You know, 2.5% of new construction is a lot. So so that's $45 million of new assessed value going on. So that, why they add that to the CPI is because that doesn't get, because it's new dollars coming in. Not saying it doesn't affect the taxpayer, because it does. If we don't take it, taxpayers go down a little bit. But that's why they add the new construction onto the CPI. And when you're in a tax cap, we don't know what it's going to be in the future. We could go back to 1%, 2%. Hopefully we do, because that means if inflation isn't going up. But when you have new construction, my advice is to capture that new construction, because once you don't capture it this year, you'll never capture it. That's all I'm trying to say.
Thank you. Any more questions about the levy?
So what's the latest, as we passed today, or this month?
Yes,
What was your question?
it has to be
When
passed
does
this
it
month
have
because
to
it has
be?
to be turned into the county. Hearing nothing else, please call roll.
Trustee Bowles,
Aye.
trustee Acker,
Still deciding.
trustee Lucas,
Nay.
trustee Alekna,
Nay.
supervisor Prater.
Aye.
Trustee Acker.
Was it an aye or a nay?
Aye.
So it's now I'm deciding.
You got it.
You know, I went around with John, I saw all of his prices go up. I should have spent some time with you and I didn't, so I'm sorry, but no.
I was here last meeting and explained the same thing.
I need.
I mean, I'm gonna levy for them. I mean, I'm gonna budget for them and budget for them. That's not my thing. I'm just trying to explain the new construction thing, but I don't have any quotes on.
And I'm gonna have to cut what I need to cut. I'm just telling you that straight up. So, that's it. If he budgets what he needs to budget, no more bucks. I'm telling you that right now. So then someone needs to say what you guys wanna levy for.
And what, no, okay, I guess.
You go half?
Can we
Split
go, can you do 4 and keep the bus? I'm serious.
You guys need to, I've done the levy, I did the work. You guys, tell me what you guys want.
What John just asked, if you went half, would we keep the bus?
That's be down to 2.5%. I said 4%.
Or
Maybe
is
at
it half?
4% is
Oh,
kind of
Sean
fine.
said half. Okay.
Show me the paperwork, show me the levy that you guys worked on.
We just come up with the number.
No, it's not.
No, it's not my job.
Okay,
If you remember, when Mike was doing
okay.
his
You're
research
asking
thing,
for a compromise. You should be kind, all right? So if he says 4, then you should help him understand 4. You shouldn't be confrontational right now. That's not how you accomplish it.
I am trying to make sure that the township doesn't get sued by the assessor at this moment. That's what I'm trying to make sure.
I'm under the
Or the
impression that there
voters.
isn't enough room for another employee in this building. You were gonna put a room on for yourself at one time.
I was not. I was never going to do that. I actually moved my office to the other side, to the general
Because there isn't enough
assistance.
room.
So the
We
general
have a
assistance
workspace
office,
for, in my office. We have an extra workspace.
and even there's another cubicle over here that sometimes isn't even getting utilized.
That's our extra workspace.
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, you guys keep saying that, I kept saying, I need help, I need help. You guys forget, I had my son on November 27th. I got appointed into the position on December 4th. I needed help, and I asked Sheila Rutledge, our District 6 rep, to help me out because I physically could not do the work. And thank God Donnie Wells helped me out for the majority of a lot of the stuff that needed to get distributed.
So
to the
2 years
stipends.
later, you're still asking me for help, even though every meeting I offered to help for you.
Okay, we're not getting anywhere
Yeah.
with this.
So
This is
again,
really
what
off
levy,
the-
what levy,
Nancy,
what levy do you guys wanna do?
Wanted the tip.
What levy do you guys want to do?
I got Don if he's got 4. There you go.
So again, what am I, what, 1 million what? What are the numbers we are levying?
Do 4% out there, figure it out.
I have to type all this out, we have to sign everything. That's why I want to see the paperwork.
Then no, then the answer is no. You don't wanna do the work, then the answer is
No,
no.
then, yeah, it was,
There you go.
it failed, so.
So in other words, now we have no levy, no, to go into the budget for the coming year. Or we just have to.
So my question to you
We'll
is,
have the old budget, we'll have the old levy, the old numbers, right? That's what we have.
that's what I'm asking, is
So
that
it'd be
what you
flat
want?
then, right?
The flat levy is the same as last year, is that correct?
Yes,
So make a motion for $1,152,000. So make a motion.
Can you vote on a percentage?
It's flat, 0.
No.
No, you would just add, huh?
No, because he doesn't want to
We
do
can
the work.
change
he
that
said. He
number
doesn't want
to
to
1
do the-
million.
I did not say I didn't want to do the work, I said I need to have the paperwork, which you guys are gonna be here for a while for me to do that,
I'll wait. Run it at 4.
okay? So 4% would be 1,198,080.
Is that right?
That's the
4%,
total
yeah.
amount for 4%. But then dividing it up into everything else, I'm just letting you guys know, to subtract, that'd be 46,080. So 46,080, a difference. Okay, that's the difference of 4680, is the difference.
Is there any of that? Okay.
And I have to type it up, so.
We still make a motion on that dollar amount, right?
Correct, I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2022-7, township for $1,198,080.
Second.
Any other discussion? Please call roll.
Trustee Paulsen.
Aye.
Trustee Hacker.
Aye.
Trustee Lucas.
Nay,
Trustee Lightfoot.
nay,
Supervisor Prater.
Aye, motion passes. Review and approval of ordinance 2022-08, tax levy ordinance for the highway department.
Make a motion to, approval of ordinance 2022-08, tax levy ordinance for the highway department.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, please call roll.
Trustee Lightfoot.
nay,
Trustee Lucas.
aye,
Trustee Hacker.
Aye.
Trustee Paulsen.
Aye.
Supervisor Prater.
Aye, motion passes. Please do your department report.
Leaf pickup was completed on December 3rd. The next brush pickup is April 1st. We are doing maintenance on equipment and getting ready for tree removal. Last week, we were served with a tax objection for building equipment, liability, or building equipment, IMRF, and Social Security. We're working with our lawyer on those. We are updating our homeowner's guide and hope to have it in the mail early February, end of January. And today we worked with Kay from Scarce. We are now signed up for a drop-off location for Christmas trees. It'll be the first 2 weeks after Christmas during normal business hours. No wires, no ornaments, no plastic, only tree. If it comes with anything else, they have to take it with them. That stuff can't go through the chip, so.
You take presents? Food?
You're gonna have to wait till I check everything out now.
Okay, that's right.
And Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Assessor Malay?
We are, in the phase of, doing hearings now. We have, we tried to do some rudimentary history on this going back. As far as I've been here, this is the lowest number of appeals we've had. And Winfield Township is typically the lowest percentage wise of, in DuPage County for appeals. Next year is not gonna be the same because it's quadrennial reassessment, so, we're happy this year to have a low number of appeals. We have 32, or 35 residential appeals, and commercial, we have like, 40 of them. Commercial appeals, they're certain that appeal every year, no matter what, so. But, we're happy with that amount this year, and, but we're gearing up for next year, which is a quadrennial reassessment, so. That's all I have. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas. Thank you. Let's see, Winfield Township Senior Bus had in November 111 riders with 193 stops. General
I have a
assistance,
lot.
534 calls
They are.
Otherwise.
with 15 line applications, 1 general assistance for rent.
I give official copy to my lawyer.
11 total of
Township engineer.
emergency assistance, totaling mostly food, run and rent. 1 pastor's fund. Thanksgiving, we helped 32 families. Ride to Page, we had 4 rides and 2 riders specifically. And other than that, that's it. I'll be working on the levy ordinance to fix it right now. And
Can I ask about the bus? Are seniors able to get on? Is it too full that they can't get on?
oh no, they're still able to get on, for sure. We have many-
Because I heard somebody say that it's kind of like Ticketmaster, they're waiting to call in at 8 to make sure that they can get on.
Yep, a lot of people, as
Because
soon as they
it's,
get elected,
It's dialysis and medical appointments first, and then if they want to go shopping or something, they're on a different tier, right?
well, yeah, of course, once it elected, literally everyone is calling immediately to get on. So it is obviously call for the next day.
And I've called our township,
Mhm.
and I don't know, I think 1984 voicemail is kind of obsolete. It should be like press 1 for this department, or press 2 for that. I can't write those numbers down fast enough on who you gotta call.
Okay,
That's the bus line.
No, you call her office and it says this, and it gives you a list of everybody, like, there's 4 numbers, your number, the bus number, Claudia's number, and it's just, it should be like press 1 or press 2 or something simplistic. If you could.
I'll check to see,
They gotta call it, what is it, a day ahead?
correct,
So if somebody calls Thursday afternoon
for Friday.
or Friday, but nobody's here to answer the phone. How does that?
They leave a message, or it depends if the bus is working on that day.
We're here Friday.
Well, I mean, sometimes if he's not working or isn't the office, sometimes he's not.
They called the day before, right? Yeah. So does somebody answer the phone? Like, is it says like our hours are like to 2:30, so can they leave a message after
Yes.
2:30?
Yes,
They mostly, seriously, they mostly all call at 8 o'clock.
yes,
So
Nothing you
then,
can.
oh, it says like Ticketmaster, you're like, crazy.
correct.
So if they call Friday, they gotta hope somebody answers
For
something
Monday.
needs a bus Monday.
Sure.
Whatever it is.
Thanks. Anything else? Hearing nothing else?
Good motion to adjourn.
Excellent. Second, excellent. Trustee Coletta? Hearing nothing else, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion passes at 7:34 PM.
Have a nice Christmas, everyone.
Oh, we gotta stay here.
Well, you guys gotta stay
Gotta stay.
until you guys can sign.
Just-
That's it. Are you sure? Because they have.
It's cold, I don't even know where.
Are you gonna say?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought
I got a
was
DUI, I'm
thinking it
sure
was
you
you.
do.
Yeah, I was thinking it was you.
I I have to be there on Tuesday or Thursday, so I can.
If you run into a bind, let me know.
You know, I can borrow. You know, I just didn't bring that person, usually I do, but
Yeah,
I,
no.
you know,
There's-
winter time I have coat, so I have. Oh, oh, there's one there.
When's the next finish?
This is a very, very homely for these meetings.
Sometimes it's a little less lively.
Thank you.
I can mention it.
Wait till you see what's gonna happen at the county board over the next couple of meetings.
Yes.
Four to do.
Oh, really?
We got seven of the yellow.
Okay.
Do you have the address?
Can you bring those?
I think it's 130 north.
Eight.
Yeah.
Seven white,
Pockets.
one yellow.
Well, I don't.
So you're.
yeah.
Honest to God.
I received.
Like, I don't know money, I was supposed to spend it to. Like, she didn't have any board members that could have spent that money.
Start coming, I like that. You're welcome.
So that anyone who wants it.
Okay, thanks.
We're coming.
You wanna talk?
Right, so tomorrow
Yeah.
is our Christmas party?
Oh, that's right.
You want to actually do this now?